Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Move Forward Anyway podcast, featuring dream accelerating inspiration. I'm Jeff Meyer, your host, author, entrepreneur, and coach. My goal with this podcast is to help you identify and clarify your own dream by taking wisdom from others' successes and challenges. If you're looking to take action on your dream, to make a difference doing something you love, but your fears are holding you back, then this podcast is for you. If you're interested in finding additional support, you can also check out my Dream Accelerator coaching program designed to help realize your full potential and reshape your future. As always, you can learn more about my Dream Accelerator program at jeffmeyer.org. Using my Dream Accelerating formula, heart-centered entrepreneurs can focus on their dream, name their fears, change their mindset, define their next, and move forward anyway. Welcome back, fellow dreamers. I am excited to be with you again on another episode of my Move Forward Anyway podcast, and a special guest today, Gigi Butler. We're so grateful for you taking time to be with us today. Thank you. And
Thank you.
I don't think that I'm getting any special perks like the amazing cupcakes for doing this podcast interview.
Well, you might.
I might, you never know. But man, are your cupcakes awesome.
Thank you.
My audience, I know, will recognize Gigi's cupcakes.
Right.
With that. Gigi, thank you for being here. Why don't you introduce yourself and let's share a little bit about your journey.
Great. Well, thank you for having me. And I love the theme of your podcast. I think that and now in these times, it's perfect, great timing. And to move forward anyways, through all the debacle we've been experiencing in this last few years. But my name is Gigi Butler, and I'm the founder and culinary creator of Gigi's Cupcakes. It was founded, I opened my first store in Nashville, downtown Nashville, 2008, February 21st, 2008. I just had my 14th anniversary.
Wow, and happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. And it was a whirlwind. I went with $33 left in my name when I opened my doors, and to 120 stores in 24 states in 5 years. Wow. And having a child and having her basically by myself and raising her by myself through the process. And here I am. I sold Gigi's Cupcakes 6 years ago, and here we go. I'm just an author of The Secret Ingredient, and I speak all across the country on how to feel fear and move forward anyway. So here we are.
I recognize that theme. It's so refreshing to have someone talk about feeling it. My daughter would say, feel the feels.
Feel the feels.
Yeah, right? Like,
right.
Embrace it, acknowledge it. Don't try to push it down or ignore it or get rid of it. And I actually teach people how to use it and flip it and use it as fuel. So it's refreshing to hear somebody talk about fear in that way.
Right. Well, also, we're taught in this society, even if you have a heartbreak, like, oh, just get over it. He's not worth it, or she's not worth it, or they died, get over, whatever their divorce, your divorce, get over. I think it's really important for us to know that we can grieve. We can feel the fear. We can feel, oh, I'm alone again, or whatever that is, and cry and just feel that, because those emotions are so vital for our healing. And I think we just kind of wash it and brush it aside and, think positive thoughts and we won't, and which you need to, but it's okay to feel afraid. It's okay to feel that fear and feel the loneliness and heal. Use those tears to heal you and move you forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We get tripped up thinking that the entrepreneurial journey, which we're talking about today, takes courage, and courage is something that exists without fear.
Right.
Like, you're either courageous or you're fearful. If you're fearful, you're not courageous. And both of those things can coexist at the same time.
Right. Well, courage is the ability to feel that and do it anyways.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you can still, the most courageous people in the world have felt that fear, but they went ahead and they're like, nah, I'm going to feel it, but I'm going to go ahead and do that anyways.
Yeah. Come along with me, fear, but
Right.
we're moving forward. That's right.
Right.
That's awesome. So 2008, you're in Nashville and you're going to open this store. Why did you start Gigi's Cupcakes? What was, go ahead. Yeah.
What was the beginning? Well,
Yeah.
I was an entrepreneur at heart. I started my first business at 15, Gigi's Cleaning Company. So I would clean during the day. And then I knew I was going to be a singer-songwriter. And so I would clean during the day and then sing at night. I started my first band at 17, and I started touring all throughout California, where I was raised. And then I moved to Nashville with $500 to my name, knew no one, didn't have a place to live, didn't have a job, but knew that God would take care of me. And my theory in it was, well, if God could part the Red Sea for the unbelieving Israelites, what could he do for me if I had just an ounce of faith? What could he do? So I stepped out and I moved forward. And that was the beginning of fighting that fear. And all through my life, it's been a pattern of a tenacious spirit, right? Just that's what God gives you. God gives you special gifts, and that's one of mine. And I just have always thought, I don't want to live just a mediocre life. I want to live fearlessly, and I want to live with lots of reward. So that takes courage. And moved to Nashville, singing, cleaning, and then I was cleaning Taylor Swift's toilet one day back when she was 15.
Really?
And I was almost 30 at the time, and she was 15, and her family had all the money in the world to further her dream. And she played Teardrops on my guitar on her bed. And I was like, did you write that song? She's like, yeah, it's going to be my first album. And I thought, I'm done. The door was closing on that opportunity of me since I was 7 singing professionally since I was 15. So I was very afraid, because all my life, all I wanted was country music. That's all I could think, breathe. What would be my next thing? I felt like such a loser, such a complete failure. And then I decided to expand my cleaning business. And during that healing of, why God, I'd always think, why am I just going to be a cleaner? He really started to work in my spirit. And instead of why God, I was like, well, why not me? Why not be faithful right where I'm at and just be content where God has me right now? I felt like there was more for me, but I didn't know. So I just was like, okay, God, I'm content. And then my brother went to New York City and stood in a line at a cupcake shop for 2 hours. And he called me while I was cleaning another client's bathroom. All my epiphanies happened near a toilet, go figure. And, and all of a sudden he's like, you should open a cupcake shop. And I looked in the mirror and I had my pink cleaning gloves on. I'm like, why not? Why not me? I've always lived a life of falling on my face and getting up and moving forward. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to do it. So I took out, no one would give me a loan, even though I'd been in business since I was 15, and I had excellent credit, a little bit of savings. And I was like, you know what? They all laughed in my face, 4 banks. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to fall as hard as I can and do it as big as I can. So I took out $100,000 cash advances on my credit cards, and I went for it. And so once again, another risk, and I just went for it. And the day I opened my store, February 21st, 2008, I had $33 left to my name. I was scared to death. I opened my doors. I had my little apron on that my mom had made me with cupcakes. And I thought, okay, God, here we go. And I didn't know what was going to happen. And from that, with $33, I went from that to 5 years in 120 stores in 24 states and a child, raising her alone. Here we are.
Here you are. Wow.
Here we are.
So are you a baker at heart?
Yes. The backstory is my great-great-grandmother in the turn of the century in Oklahoma. I'm from Oklahoma originally. She had her first bakery called Beal's Bakery. And so our whole family, and my mom's half Italian, so our whole family they're bakers, and my great aunts and everyone in my family bakes. And at 5, they're like, come up here and let's show you how to roll pie dough. Or I was learning this incredible way to feed myself and create. And I just didn't know I'd ever be doing it for a living. So sometimes what we think we're not going to do is really God is planting seeds of what we really are potentially going to do. So you just never know. You have to be open in every season and go, okay, God, I failed at that, or I think I failed at that, but what can I learn from this and bring it to my next chapter and my next path of what you have me on?
Yeah, that moment at the toilet bowl, Taylor Swift's toilet bowl, that is fascinating.
Toilet bowl. I've cleaned 75,000 of those toilet bowls. Which one? I've got this calluses to show them. Here they are.
So that
75,000 toilets, people. I keep moving forward.
Oh man, praise God for that.
That's right.
So when you heard her sing that song and you
Right.
thought, okay, my dream of being a country music star is not going to come to fruition the way I envisioned it. That is a gripping moment of grief, right?
Right.
How did you move forward anyway through that? Because I know a lot of people I work with, they have a dream and then that dream closes and they're just done. They're
devastated. They can't take anymore. They emotionally, physically worn out. And what I did was I did feel like a loser. I did actually feel like, what am I going to do with my whole years were in front of me. I was 29, I think, at the time. Wow. And I'm like, what am I going to do? What? So what I did was I started feeling grateful. I started writing journals and I started feeling, okay, God, if I feel like a loser, but what do I have going for me? Well, I can still sing. I can sing at church. I have my health. I have my strength. So I started feeling gratitude. I also started healing my soul with the Bible, with good books, with Joel Osteen, Your Best Life Now, Joyce Meyer. I would listen to her every day. And this feeling of my sadness, of my wounds, I had a failed marriage. it was a horrible time in my life. And through just seeing and saying and hearing what God says about me, I finally healed. Because if you listen to what the world says about you, you're never going to heal. You're going to be in a rut. You're going to be devastated and you're going to be depressed your whole life. If you depend on what people say about you, you're done. So good luck with that, because it's never going to work. But you have to hear the words of healing from what God's perspective of you is.
What did you learn in those years of building, those 5 years especially, of building Gigi's Cupcakes from one store to 120 in 24 states? Right. What are some of the things that you experienced that you're just so incredibly grateful for?
Well, that's in the book, Secret Ingredient. You would have to read the whole book. That would be a whole series on the things I've learned. But, awesome. Going from a toilet cleaner to a CEO that quick, someone had $33 and that in 2 or 3 years was grossing. I wasn't personally making, but the company was making $33 million. So going from that within 3 years of my life, can you imagine what that would be? So I hit it big. Maybe I wasn't a country singer superstar, but I had hit it. I had made it. I had this golden nugget that came to fruition, right? Mm-hmm. But what I learned is I didn't love myself enough to have the right boundaries still. And what I did learn good is that I absolutely was a perfectionist when it came to what I wanted with my brand, what I wasn't going to compromise. So I did have boundaries in some ways. And I really was not going to compromise what the beautiful look and the feel and the taste of this cupcake was going to be. It was going to be an experience for people. And it was going to be baked with love because it was my family's recipes from 100 years of the recipes. So I learned that. I learned through cleaning, even though I didn't go to the business school and have all these degrees, I was in famous people's homes all the time, successful people's homes, learning about the stock market, learning about how to be a doctor, what it takes to be a marketing genius. I may be cleaning their desk, but they were teaching me things while they were sitting there at their desk, right? Mm-hmm. So I put all those things that I'd learned with cleaning and I'd learned with singing as far as what's your shtick, what makes you special, and I put it into the cupcake business. And that's why we were so successful, because of branding, taste, and the excellence of standards of what I wanted my cupcake shop to be.
Even as you're talking about it, I'm licking my chops. I want to go get a cupcake.
Well, I'm telling you, they are little gems.
Little slice of heaven, no doubt.
Yes.
So the biggest challenges that you faced I can just imagine the rapid growth had to be just staying ahead of that. Insane.
It was absolutely insane. Hiring a good team around you was so important because there's things I didn't know, but I know other people knew. Yeah. So hiring that team and people that would go and have the brand and be that example of the brand that I wanted to be was very important. So hiring is so important. And finding the people, like I'm not really technical. We talked about that before. But there are people that are very technical and I can hire those people, right? Yeah. So that just hiring the right people and being a good leader and learning from my mistakes of being a not so good leader is priceless. But you have to go through it to learn it. You can't learn these skills really in a college setting. It's getting the touch and feel and the mistakes and the pain and, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Why did I make that decision? And trying to rebuild something else. So it's all in the experience.
Yeah, you learn it as you grow it. You don't learn it from a book and plan it all out and then launch.
Right. And that's what people think. That's what people think. Oh, I'll just go to school and then I'll be this successful billionaire. It happens to one point, whatever, but it doesn't really happen to everyone. They have to touch it, feel it, live it, breathe it, and be a failure in lots of things to be the success they need to be.
Yeah. So 6 years ago, you made a decision to sell Gigi's Cupcakes. And take me through the motivation for that. Was there another dream that you were wanting to pursue?
I wanted to write the book. I wanted to write The Secret Ingredient. I had a 5-year-old at the time. She has been on to date 124 plane flights. So if that can tell you, and I wanted to always be a mom and be a stay-at-home mom. And so our home maybe wasn't at the home, but she was in an apartment, an airplane, a bus, whatever, she was with me. But at 5, it was time for me to put her in kindergarten, and I wanted that experience. I was also tired of fighting the franchisees, fighting the people in my, just fighting every day, fighting my family. It was just a fight. And the creation of it and the joy that gave me, it had slipped away. And so I walked away. I love creating. That's where I'm at my best. And when I don't have that anymore, I don't have the joy. And it's just being this CEO business fighting machine. And I don't want to do that my whole life. Yeah. Life's too short.
Yeah, that's for sure. So your daughter now is what, 11?
She's 10. She's 10. Yeah. So she was almost 5. She's 10 and she is just amazing. She's a foodie for sure. And, I sold and then the company went bankrupt 2 years later. And I tried to buy Gigi's out of bankruptcy and it didn't work. And then it just got to where it was so hard just being a franchisee and watching my baby just die. basically, and not be what I had built it to be, then I got completely out of Gigi's. And then COVID hit. So there we go. And then I'm left with no identity, no job, no career, no future. Like, okay, I'm back in the exact same thing I was before Gigi's. What the heck? And, here we are.
Is there anything emerging on the horizon for you? Are there any sparks, and you don't have to share them if
I'll share them. I'll share them. But I think people need to know that life and being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. And living fearlessly and being anointed doesn't mean you're going to have an easy life. It means you are going to be persecuted more than most people. And so after COVID hit, I started baking in my home, and I wanted to always do a pie shop. So I got the opportunity. I baked. I was delivering good, comfort food, shepherd's pie, chicken pot pie, pies of all kinds, pie bars. I'm like, how could this not work? So when the opportunity for a brick and mortar came about, I fearlessly leaped at the chance, and Pies by Gigi was born. Then the Delta variant of whatever that thing is hit. And it absolutely killed my business. And whatever has happened with COVID, all of the death and sickness, it's been horrible. But what it has done also is absolutely destroyed small business. Yeah. And I think that was their plan all along. But we won't get into that. That's another podcast. So, and so here I am. I'm like, my business is failing. I've got to cut off the bleeding. I've got to do something with my life. My daughter, so I closed Pies by Gigi. I sold my home, and I just packed up and I moved to Florida. And I'm once again at, what am I going to do with my life? So it never, you're never sitting there eating bonbons. If you are, congratulations, you're like 1 out of a million. And you just keep creating. So I've started doing public speaking again, and I'm about ready to start a new book about the last 5 years. Wow. And being an entrepreneur during COVID. And then also I've been doing marketing for a vitamin company, and we're about to a vitamin chewy gummy. And so I've been doing that. We're about to launch an amazing product, and it's my friend's company that I've known since I was 13 years old. I used to clean and babysit for him and his wife. Go figure. So here you go. And so I am getting into that business. So I don't know yet. I'm just trying to figure out and see what my next creation is.
How do you show, model, encourage your daughter to dream big? Because I'm very interested in the household dynamic of being an entrepreneur. Right. And it gets spread on. I have 4 daughters myself, right. And watching them pursue their dreams is probably my favorite thing in the whole world. So, right. How do you encourage her to dream big?
Well, I lead by example. She sees all of the pain I've had to go through and all of the scariness. And she walks right along with me. And I say, Kendall, no matter what, God is our Father. God will provide for us. If we lose our friends, we lose our family. I don't have a husband. You know what? God provides. God is the only thing that'll be there for you. If you can put your foundation in Him and you dream big, it won't. Even if you dream and it doesn't work out, He's got another plan for you. So I lead by example. We're cleaning. I'm doing a cleaning business again here on the island where I live, and I don't mind cleaning. I'm good with cleaning. I love cleaning. I'm starting that up, and she goes with me, and I'm like, "Come on, let's go." And she's like, "Well, I don't want to go." I said, "Do you want some stuff? Do you want to start your savings? Do you want, So she just goes along with me on this path, and I don't shield her from many things because I can't, because it's just her and I in the home. I don't shield, I shield her from the negative, but I don't shield her from seeing the possibilities and the fear, because she has to learn to rely on God for herself. And if she doesn't, then I have failed, because that's the only thing I care about, is my daughter learning how to be a good disciple of Jesus.
That is a worthy dream to pursue.
Yes.
Yes, the most important.
Yes, it is
I'm
the most
grateful
important.
for that. So I want to give you an opportunity before we end this brief conversation. I want to ask you, for those who are listening in my audience and are thinking about maybe overthinking, a lot of overthinking happens in the dream pursuit.
Correct.
What would you like to say to them to encourage them?
Well, if you're thinking and thinking and it's gnawing at your gut, it's gnawing in your soul, like, gosh, I should do this, but I just can't. And you overthink it every day and wow, I really feel this. If you're feeling something deep in your spirit and you keep hearing it and you don't act upon it, shame on you, because you're missing an opportunity to build something and create something that God has intended you to do. And because you're afraid and you won't step out of the boat, shame on you. You're just going to live a little what if life, and I just think of myself as sitting on that porch when I'm 80. Hopefully I get there and go, what if I would have done that pie shop? Well, I wouldn't have got my butt kicked. I wouldn't have lost my money. I wouldn't have done this, right? But I would have had to live with that what if. And living with the what if is terrifying to me. I will never live with a what if. I am going to always strive to live for the why not. Yeah, do you get your butt kicked? Yeah, do you lose your money? Yes, you do. But you don't have to sit on the porch when you're 80 and 90 and go, why didn't I do that? Why was I too afraid? Don't be too afraid to step out of that boat. And everyone's like, well, he went in the water after. Hey, he walked on it for a minute and he's the only one that got out of that boat. That's right. I would have rather been that dude than the little guys, and all the other ones had opportunities to go out. They didn't. Yep. So we always think, well, he fell in the water. He walked on it for a couple steps. I would rather been that person.
That's good. And Jesus pulled him up.
That's right.
Pulled him up, and then he got to see the most amazing things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Gigi, it has been a delight to talk with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing a little sunshine from Florida with this
thank you.
Northern boy in Madison, Wisconsin today.
I love Madison.
Great. We have a Gigi's just down the road.
I know you do. I opened that Gigi's when I was pregnant with my daughter, and no one knew I was pregnant yet. Yes. I opened that store. There were lines around the building, and I knew I was pregnant, and I just still frosted those cupcakes anyways. And I was thanking God that I had my treasure in my belly. So that was my fond memory of Madison, Wisconsin. I love that store, and they do such a great job there. I love that store.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that plug. I will be sure to share that with them when I go in the next.
Good. Please do.
So thank you again for taking time and sharing your life with me and with our audience. How can people get a hold of you, find out more about you, stay connected with you?
Well, they can go on gigibutler.com for booking or to buy books. The Secret Ingredient is my book. It's anywhere books are sold. Amazon has it. And my Instagram is official Gigi Butler, and my Facebook is the same. So they can reach out to me from there.
Awesome. Now, one last thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where can we get exposed to your music?
Well, I sing at church. I sing at church, and they usually have it online. And then I have one song on Spotify. I did a Christmas song a few years back, Silver Bells, I have on Spotify. And It's just Silver Bells, Gigi Butler. So you can go and listen to it on Spotify.
I'm going to definitely check that out, because I'm
wonderful.
I'm a musician too, and love hearing creatives share their gifts. So congrats on all that you have accomplished.
Thank you.
All that you are accomplishing, and including being a mama to that beautiful young lady.
Thank you.
You're shaping, and sharing with the world. So
thank you so much. I've made so many mistakes, and I'm humbled by God's mercy.
yes.
And I truly desire to leave a legacy of love. And if I've done that, then I've done my job.
That's right. That's right. Congratulations on all
Thank
of it.
you. Thank
What
you
a
so
pleasure
much.
to talk to you. Maybe we'll talk again.
Absolutely.
All right, Gigi. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, fellow dreamer. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Head over to my website, jeffmeyer.org, for all of the show notes and links. And when you're ready to move from overthinking about your dream to actually taking action on it, consider joining the Dream Accelerator community. Our clients are getting crystal clear on their dream with our Dream Generator Vivid Description 5-step process. They're discovering the truth about fear and how to use it as fuel to take courageous steps in the right direction. And most importantly, they are walking a clear path forward because they have made an investment in themselves to confidently realize their dreams. The results are so inspiring. Having coaching and companions on the dream journey is crucial. Remember, fear will come, fear will stay. Move forward anyway.